Hello. Hi. Hi. My name is Chris. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It is Sunday evening. It is 11:35, maybe 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's late, especially for these Sunday lives. I am so happy. Anyone's here. Is anyone here? Who knows, my loves? No, I'm happy you're here. God bless. I see some comments. So, yes, bear with me. The reason why I didn't have like complete control over my day was because I had my cousin's wedding last night and I Ubered to the ceremony and then had a lovely evening at another cousin's house, spent the night, and was, beholden to when I could get back to my car and actually wash and make notes. And here we are. I started at 10 p.m., but I got it done. And I think that is a really great Sunday night theme to bring into the next week of getting things done. Now, listen, I like doing this. I mean, this isn't work or whatever, in that kind of way. Like I just had to watch a television show. But, if it comes down to not having done a live and then trying to put something together or just being like, you know what, I know it's late. It's 11:38. It's not ideal because I live in the almost last possible time zone. So like, unless you're in my time zone, Los Angeles, like, I mean, what time is it where you are? If you're watching this live, it's like 5 a.m. I mean, I don't even know. But here's the thing. If you are here, God bless. I'm going to make this fun. If you are watching it in the replay, I really hope that it's fun still. I'm going to try and make it real streamlined for you, even though it's late. We are going to get into a couple first. I want to get into a nice, juicy, meaty couple for you guys. It's going to be, I think, I love you guys. I think it's going to be like a little teeny tiny live for us. I'm happy for like an intimate live. So everyone that's here, I'm so happy. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Empress. Thank you, Jessica. I know I'm a little late. C. Cruz is here. I'm so happy to see my babes. Okay, so Tiffany and Ronald are the couple I want to start with. And it's obviously 90 Day Fiancé isn't a show that's easy to watch in any way because like we are constantly toggling in between being like, oh my God, this person exists, to just like extreme awkwardness, to just being like, don't do it. This is a horrible idea. This is, like never going to bode well. And I think the Tiffany Ronald situation is this. Ronald thinks doing anything and bettering his life, any amount of that improvement is for Tiffany. And Tiffany wants, in her mind, someone who's like doing a normal amount, which is not what Ronald's doing. Because Ronald wants to be like, oh, I didn't have anything in my apartment at all. This was just a room. So the fact that I even have furniture, that's for you. But we have to really dissect that and say this. No, Ronald, you having a livable home space, that should be for you. Having like some food in your refrigerator, like that's for you. And then you have to add the family element on top. Then you start to think, well, is there enough seating for the family? Is there enough, is there food that's actually kid friendly? Like that's the addition to, Ronald, of the thing that already should exist. But the thing that already should exist does not exist, right? So how would there ever be how would they ever get to a place of a level playing field of what she expects and what he can deliver? Because they are so vastly different. And the perception of what Ronald is doing and how he's like, I built a room for Daniel. And she's like, you don't have salt and pepper. You have 1 beer and 6 eggs. So many eggs. Was there a chicken? I mean, in your mind, I was like, well, he didn't really buy those eggs. Like some person came like, or I might have got some chicken eggs. I don't actually have any idea how to do that South African, like, African accent. I don't know how to do it. So he has 6 eggs, no salt. He spent a lot of time in that room, honey, and building it for Daniel and in the garage, my loves. And he also let like the cardboard paper dry thing get stuck to the paint that was on the ground. Okay, so they go grocery shopping. Okay, and honey, he's like, not a big deal. I've been waiting for her to come, right? Because now we can go grocery shopping together. And I don't know what the kid's like. And now she's here, so I can just put whatever I want in this cart, and then like between both of us, we'll pay for it. So he gets things being like, I'm going to make sure that we have food past the 2 weeks. She's like, we only need food for 2 weeks. So he buys, like, for instance, 3 boxes of cereal. That's a lot of cereal. And he says one of it is for him, one of it's for Daniel, and one of it's for her. Okay, so, okay. Ronald, if you are someone that eats cereal, then why didn't you have cereal and milk in your house? See, like, that's not something that you did for your family. You didn't, well, first of all, you didn't, obviously, right? You didn't even have groceries for your family. But, like, you weren't even at the state where, like, if you like cereal in the morning, why don't you have cereal? Why don't you have milk? Why did you wait? Yeah, he willy-nilly puts whatever in this, grocery cart. And it's like, I mean, it's guys' grocery games, honey. It's like, supermarket sweep. It's like pink bologna. There's something called polony. So this is like where I love streaming to people like who don't, necessarily live in where I live in America. Had you ever heard of polony? Because like, okay, so in California, I know of spam, right? And like, for instance, Hawaiian people love spam. It's like a part of their culture. It's integrated into their culture in such a way from the colonization of them through America, specifically the troops, honey, who like didn't have access to like all the fresh meats. So spam was a government meat, like government cheese that people had a lot of during the wars, and like they somewhat permeate some of the regional food scenes or whatever. So right. Pink bologna is, yes, Jessica, like a lunch meat that's available. That's bologna. What? Okay, so first of all, bologna is like bologna and hot dogs. I don't enjoy because I find the meat to be obviously too soft, too softly ground, right? For anyone's enjoyment. Like I've always enjoyed like a little coarser ground in my sausages, or just like, I want there to be like some texture and I can have like hints of flavors, but like those situations. And I mean, even like something like mortadella, which is a little more finely processed, at least it does have like the pimentos and the olives and stuff. So you have like other things, but that pink bologna is like pink, gelatinous looking, processed, just smooth. I mean, what does that taste like? And the kids don't have to have that. He buys so much meat for someone who had 6 eggs and 1 beer, and he was surprised about the beer. And he's like, men need meat, or whatever he said. And it's like, well, then why didn't you have meat? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, he just filled a cart and was like happy that she was there to like pick up the rest. Which, yes, supposedly her, addition was $60. And the overall bill was somewhere around like 250. So he covered the majority of it, but it feels like you have someone who has never been good with money, who has never understood responsibility, who lives himself bottom of the barrel. And by that, I mean not high maintenance at all. Now, listen, you don't have to be high maintenance in life. Ronald doesn't have to be high maintenance in life. If Ronald wants to go through his whole life being a man that, has whatever in his refrigerator at any time, no salt though, which I can't imagine. Like, oh my God, how are you gonna like, what? In my mind, I'm like, Ronald, you are like mad at her for not knowing how to make a whole chicken. What are you gonna salt? What are you gonna season the chicken with? I can't believe it. Like I just only because I like cooking. Well, I don't know if you do know that or not, but if you know anything about me, I love to cook. I love all the spices. I'm just like so shocked. I'm like, how'd you even season the eggs? Just like be like, huh, can I put a little beer in the eggs? Like a little, is that a barley flavor? I mean, I don't even know what I would do. Okay, so anyway, point of the story is, my loves, it's a power struggle over the fact that he wants to be praised for all that he has done. She's looking around like this is not enough. And she's testing him with his ability to also pick up the slack and help her raise Carly, which is their child together. Also, a baby that is always crying. That baby, that baby crying. I mean, when we look at Carly, I mean, she's like, I'm sure she's very cute, despite the haircut that she was given at one point in her life. She's not happy. I mean, listen, she's been traveling a bunch. Her mom isn't happy too. Her mom wants to take a nap, wants to go to bed, is so upset because now he's putting away all these groceries. And she's like, all right, I'll put away the groceries and watch this kid. Now, I'm not a mom, but let's talk about this moment for our moms. I'm like, do you have a little gate? You need to like have some gates, my love, so you can have that toddler have a little running around fencing. Like she needs a little, what is it? An arena. You just create an arena for her. Yeah, like also if you're tired and you like can't stand a moment of more sitting up, I bet you that crying toddler can probably go to bed. That was also my mind, like just put her to bed. I mean, get whatever playpen, play bed. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those, like pack it all, my loves. Like this is where I don't have a kid, but like, honey, just put her in there. Like put on some white noise and like hush hush, soothe, blackout curtains, and that baby should be in bed. Like that's fine. You and the baby go to bed. Daniel and him, honey, they mop. They put away groceries. But this part felt like fake, and then suddenly he's mopping the floor. Okay. Ronald starts to say some problematic things. Well, let me say this. So then the next morning, my loves, right? She was very tired. Carly cries right in the middle of the night because she'd be staying crying. Crying Carly is her name. And Ronald doesn't get up to help, to soothe. He's like a log, honey, like a bear sleeping. You know what I'm saying? And she's the one that's like, I have to go soothe the baby. So she wanted him to be like, oh, my first night with my baby. I got it. You sleep. He starts to say things. This is what I want to say earlier. Like, I don't have to do that. And I forgot to say that too. Yeah, that's hilarious. He starts to say, I don't want to have to like change her poopy diapers. That's not me. That's why she has you. Like, like you're her mom. We made that thing. Like, that's your job. That's why I got married. That's what he says. That is so traditional in a very archaic sense when it comes to responsibilities for the male, female, mother, father in the old fashioned heterosexual cisgender relationships, right? But as I have always stated, if you are not doing your part of that, then how dare you assume that you don't have to do, that you're like, you don't have to do the other. You know what I'm saying? This is why. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up still. I'm DW, I'm so happy to put that up there. You can't not be making any money, not as a man in this situation, not providing anything, and then have a hard line like, oh, that's why I have a wife. No, you do it. You're the wife. No, you're the mother. You do the poopy diapers. No, because that would mean that you're paying for everything, including the diapers, including your wife's, like, hopefully massages at the end of the week to, like, have the entire brunt of the responsibility of raising your children. But you're not. She's not getting a massage. You know what I'm saying? She's not even getting like a luxurious hand soap after the poopy diapers. She's paying for the diapers. You're not doing it. You're not getting loves. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So during this conversation, not to go back in time, but this was a great point by the DW, of how Tiffany wants Ronald to take care of Carly, right? At the same time, as him putting away groceries. But that's not a big deal for her because she is a mom, honey. She has Daniel running around on a video game. He is talking to her to something. She's doing something. She's doing her makeup. Carly, she's used to that. She's like, Ronald, you take some of this now. Yeah, put away the groceries, but also watch your daughter. He's like, all right, I got it. Can't do the accent. Here. And he hands Carly a plastic bag. Play with this. In front of her. I mean, in front of her. Tiffany, like, calls him out on it, and he's just like, oh, you're always complaining. Nothing's ever good enough for you. Too high maintenance. She's fine with that bag. Yes, there are literally warnings on every plastic bag you could possibly get. I wish I had I actually am surprised. I don't have a plastic bag in my vicinity. You can't find one, much like smoking boxes, or sorry, cartons of cigarettes, right? Or like a pack of cigarettes. Everyone has a warning for children. Wait. Are they not on bags in South Africa? Is that why? Okay, well, I just had that realization, like maybe that's a privilege of American life, and he just, for some reason, does Ronald just not know? One part of this thing, right, is Ronald's like, look, why can't you just give me a break? You've been a parent. I've never been a parent. Why can't you give me some, whatever, like gentleness, like some, empathy, some humbleness or whatever, to like let me learn? And she wants to say, I can't. I do not trust you, which is obvious. She does not trust him. None of us do. He gave a bag to a baby. You wouldn't give a bag to your baby. That's one way, I guess, to make her stop crying, but not a good way. And how horrible of me to say that. But I mean, you can't do that to that baby, that crying Carly. You don't give her that bag. Yes, you awkwardly cut her bangs for some reason in the early part of this season. That's what happens. But Carly, no, just like get her a playpen. I don't know, just like there are small rooms, right? There's barely any furniture. You could just rope off a section. Like, where's that garage? Like, I'll put her in the garage. What's she gonna do? Just like put down some pillows in that garage. There's nothing in that garage. Like, except for the fact that like the paper is stuck to the bottom. My point of the story is really Carly should have gone to bed. So here we are. He is a horrible parent in Tiffany's eyes, and also our eyes. In his mind, he's doing his absolute best, and then we would just be like, okay, cool. It's not good enough. I know we like to live in a society where like, well, if you do your best, it's great enough, and like, that's good for certain things. But like, there's things that your best isn't good enough. Especially for someone who already has expectations. Especially for someone who's like been living already somewhat independently. So your options, your lifestyle better be like marginally worse, if not better, but only marginally worse. His is such a step down from everything that she knows and sees. Again, like I said in the other like lives, like this is someone honey, she went to living spaces and she outfitted her whole apartment with the money that she was supposed to do, sending them back. Like, and she got like gray, like rustic, like mirrored covered tops on her bedside tables. Like she has that life now. She's very happy with it. It's like very, very nice life. There is no way that she is going to live in South Africa. And he does not get that. He really thinks that he has provided more than enough because of how small he has lived before. That sounds so judgy, that he lived small. But what I'm trying to say is like, he's had some issues, obviously. And his like perception of what comfortable living is not it for most women, mothers with children, Americans, normal people. Those aren't normal people. I mean, there's a level, I'm not, because I think that, like, I don't want to say that, like, there are South African people that, like, don't live better than him. I think most do, like, by that, I mean, I think that he is happy to make do with only what he needs in the very moments, right? Which are beer and maybe like a fry up an egg. Honey, that's it. Barely anything to sit on. But that's not like a father and a family. And I feel really like I don't know what to do when I watch their segments because there's no way out. It sort of feels like, just, I guess, getting lost in a cave following two idiots where they're not going to find the end. So at some point you're just going to get stuck at the end of a cave, like, cave with like absolutely nowhere to go. Honey, it's dark. And you're there with two idiots that you knew were not going to get you to the end. That's what it feels like with them. Like, okay. So I have really leaned into the fact that this season is not a fun season at all. There are no good, positive, funny, eccentrically weird, where it's like new and fun moments at all. It is just depressing decay. That's how I feel about it. Dangerous, depressing, decay. And then one more word to describe just like absolute fakeness. Just like de-authenticity. No, that's not a word. Just like, we're just toggling in between, right? A Ronald and Tiffany, where you're like, this is not going to work out and this is not good. And he has a wrong mindset and she doesn't like it. And I can't believe I can't believe you decided to even spend any more time together. Libby and Andre. So this is where I was trying to think of the D word for just utter nonsense. We're just like, it's like debauchery, but like even debauchery has funness, and debauchery also means like there's an element of spontaneity, of like a looseness, a whimness to debauchery. Like, let's be bad. And that's not really what's happening here. It's obviously just like scripted drama. We have to pick up in this RV. I completely agree. We have to pick up in this RV where, of course, Andre's driving and the pretty sister, God bless, whatever, I don't care, was fighting with him at that time, honey, but she's got a lot of work done. So I'm saying pretty only because, like, the work that she got done, like, benefited her. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Then Andre's like, let's go outside and talk about it, which is weird. I don't understand why, like, why the, like, pretty sister's, like, husband just wouldn't go out to talk to Andre or speak up for his wife in the moment. But basically, they're fighting over the fact what happened last episode, which was Chuck was talking to Andre about business and like that bitch got mad or whatever. And so like they have to fight outside. They like are like, no, it's fine. We'll just like keep driving. Okay, fine. So they get to wherever. And at some point, Ellie, who is of course Libby and Andre's kid, is going upstairs. And it felt like this. Libby was doing something. Andre was supposed to be looking after her, and maybe he was like sitting in a room with other family members. So he goes to the bathroom and she just starts walking, honey. Like, she's like, oh, no one's looking. My dad went to the bathroom. My mom is who knows where. Those bitches, my stupid drunk aunts, are like literally uploading to OnlyFans right now. And I saw their sickle feet. I'm not happy about it. This is my chance to break free and move. I'm on the move. My name is Ellie. So she like gets on the stairs, right? Like is like crawling up the stairs. And Libby like has a mother intuition thing, like goes around, sees her, like gets to her just in time where like Ellie was going to fall. She kind of falls or slips back, and maybe just like slips back and she is caught by Libby, and Libby has a very big reaction and they both start crying. And then Libby blames Andre, right? Like, you went to the bathroom. And Andre is getting blamed by Libby, and also you're not taking any of the blame, but also kind of wants to be like, I was also like in the room with your family, and they're like, the cousins were playing together, and I don't understand why, like, as adults, you can't just watch your cousin for a second, your niece, your nephew for a second. I'm like, if this is real, this is not real. Like, this is what we have. So I'm just going to give you this moment. Of talking about it. I watch my nieces and nephew all the time. Like, I know when their parents go to the bathroom. If we're all sitting in a room, I can tell when one goes to the bathroom. I'm not going to let one kid just like run out. I mean, especially if there are other kids around, which there are. Like those people are playing together. Like you're not going to just be like, I'm watching my kid play with like their 4 cousins, but only my one kid right now. So if one of the other cousins just starts to like wander off, that's fine, not my kid. But what happens, of course, is that once Libby starts yelling at Andre, honey, all the sisters like, yay, let's yell at him. And he like really hates that. So I will just say this. I hate Chuck. Because ultimately it's Chuck's fault for not only everything. And by everything, I mean the fact that he decided to bring up business. Well, no, it's Chuck's fault for literally everything. So it was his fault for bringing up business on the RV. It's Chuck's fault that they even are on this RV. It's Chuck's fault, right, that Andre is having any drama with the family at all because it's Chuck's fault that Andre is working for the family. It's Chuck's fault that the family hates Andre at the wedding because Chuck let Charlie, I forget their names, be a drunk asshole at the wedding without putting on his big boy daddy pants and putting his own son in check. That was Chuck's fault. You know what else is Chuck's fault? The whole family. Libby's Chuck's fault. Becky's Chuck's fault. The other Becky, pretty Becky, it's Chuck's to blame for all of it. And when I say pretty Becky, Chuck paid for pretty Becky's fillers. So literally every morsel of this moment is Chuck's fault. If you take away all of Chuck, all you have left is Andre. Thank you. That's my dissertation on I Hate Chuck. It's Chuck's fault. That's the name of like Libby's spinoff. I mean, because they're angling for like a Family Day Libby Chantel, and like it should be. Please call it. It's Chuck's fault, honey. We all hate Chuck. Okay, Natalie and Mike. This is again. I feel like everything I'm saying is like this is crazy to watch. I don't know what to say about this. It's like bananas that we are proceeding on to the storyline that Mike and Natalie are still together. So you're telling me after they came back from Thanksgiving that they're still living together? But now what's happening is Natalie met a friend on the internet, usually bad when you're already on a like sort of famous reality show on TLC. Remember what happened to Mary from Sister Wives? When she met a friend online, it can be bad. Now, this friend is named Juliana. She's met Juliana many times. Well, no, times before in real life. Mike hasn't. So we're all gonna go have dinner at Juliana's. Now, Juliana's from Russia, honey, and she's been in America a little longer, but her house, I mean, is old country. That is an old country house. Oh, the wood. The crystal like hanging from the chandelier. It's like that like crystal, I don't know what you call it, like the plastic crystals. I mean, when they would just like show the house, it's the kind of house I want to pause and look at everything. The wood, yeah, like every little knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone, every figurine, every little like trinket, all of the baubles, like that woman has them all, that Josephine. She's wearing like a head piece. What happened to Mary? And then no, I didn't see Mike hit his head. So when we first saw Juliana's apartment, I was like, oh, is this the kitchen that we've been seeing Natalie do her YouTube? Because we also know that, of course, Natalie has a YouTube, and after they got divorced, she's been uploading videos, but she hasn't uploaded videos in like 4 months or whatever. But she had like a kitchen that she was doing, so that obviously wasn't the prefabricated kitchen in Mike's home, so we knew that something was up. But at, I forgot her name, Juliana's house, we get this tidbit. Natalie wants to get a nose job. because in the middle of the night, honey, her nose just runs. She gets snot-nosed. She's snot-nosed. Just not a flowing every night, honey. So she went to a doctor, and for some reason, it won't be covered by insurance. I mean, listen, do I know all of the ins and outs of nose jobs to give you like a professional opinion? No. Knows. But like, no, I don't understand exactly how insurance is covered in situations like this. Like, because Natalie gave us, okay, if you haven't had a nose job, we have heard certain things, right, over the years. Now, if you actually have this, no qualms to you, but like someone has a deviated septum, right, which means they can't like breathe out of their nose real right. So there are certain times in which, right, someone's health will give you a medical reason to get a nose job. That, of course, makes sense. It's not even just nose jobs. We can talk about women who have back problems and get breast reduction surgeries. You can get that covered by insurance, right? Because you are alleviating a medical condition that is painful for you, and that's what you pay insurance for. It's because when things are, medically sound and necessary, you don't have to do it. Okay, so I don't know what insurance she has. Sorry, I hurt my tailbone, so sitting down is so hard. In a sense, like she's married to Mike, so does she have Mike's insurance? Okay, so I'm not quite sure about that. Also, B, how medically sound is your reason if you are just like producing so much snot that they wouldn't pay for that, insurance wouldn't pay for that unless it wasn't really real, or the doctor you were deciding to go to doesn't take insurance. Which, if the doctor you're going to doesn't take insurance, then this person is a cosmetic surgeon who doesn't have to take insurance, who probably mostly handles people who don't, have medical reasons for nose jobs, which God bless. And having said that, you don't have to use a surgeon that, of course, takes insurance. You're welcome to not. But if money's a factor, if you're thinking about money, I mean, my God. Okay, insurance won't pay for it if it's elective. Now, okay, so this is what I'm saying. Like, there are times in which, of course, insurance will pay for it if there's as I'm saying, a medically sound reason. She is saying that she has I don't know, just like a lot of production of mucus. At night, she can barely breathe. She wakes up in a panic, she says, because she's like sleeping, not breathing, snots everywhere. Snot nose pee. You know what I'm saying? So that sounds very intense, horrible even. It's also like, if something's affecting your sleep like that, like that's a whole other realm of issues. What I'm trying to say is, if that's true, in what world would insurance not be paying for it? Unless, of course, she was going to a surgeon who didn't take insurance. Now, Laura says her nose is fine. I don't get why she would do it. Oh, Laura, she's doing it to get a nose job. Oh, that's why. She's doing it because she wants a smaller nose. My love, come on. Come on. Didn't you get a bunch of facial procedures done? So I had just read some of the goss, right? So the goss from this point, obviously, is that we know they're no longer together. That Beau and Tamara said that Natalie was incredibly dirty, honey. She never cleaned the place, never cleaned, never cooked. Mike had to do all of it. Mike would come home tired from working in the drive. She was just horrible. And that she also got a bunch of lipo and a bunch of surgeries and now lives in Florida, and she's going to be on 90 Day The Single Life, whatever season 2 we're in, or whatever there is filming now. That's the tea. Now, watching this, you're like, okay, so then she's like, I didn't tell Mike. I didn't want Mike to be like upset, even though I hadn't mentioned that I have to get the surgery. But I want her to be here, Juliana. So I need to break it in front of Juliana just in case Mike gets upset. And he shouldn't be upset because it's just money and it's about her health. And Mike's very worried about money. So then she proceeds to tell Mike in front of Juliana, and he's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, no, I'll drive you. And Juliana's like, But Mike, how do you feel planning surgery? And he's like, I feel fine. I mean, I wish she'd told me, but yeah, a little earlier, but no, I'll just drive her. And it was lackluster and anticlimactic. I felt like Mike thought that he was being tricked or bamboozled into a situation. Mike has hostility, it feels like, towards the producers of this show. And Natalie. Doesn't it feel that way? He kind of hates everyone except for his mother. um, One other thing, because I looked at all the food. Is it a thing with Hungarian or people or just Natalie that she loves raining parsley down on every dish she makes? Honey, it's like not a Natalie dish until, honey, she's put that touch, and that touch is parsley. Natalie is like Salt Bae, except it's parsley. She wants to, like, before every dish goes on, she's just like, I mean, there's just piles and piles of parsley. She cares so much about parsley. Remember when she only got the parsnip and she was like, this isn't parsley? Makes me LOL. She's also sitting there, my love, with a flowered wreath on top of her head, honey, if she was like at Coachella. But the other woman's sitting there with like, a shoelace around her head. So that's a thing. Now, having said that, I want to go to Juliana's house for dinner anytime, and I would absolutely love, and I would spend 4 hours there just staring at all the trinkets, and there's not a dust on any of them. You know that Juliana is meticulous, okay? So then later on, Natalie and Mike try to change something in his truck. The oil? No, the radiator fluid. He's going to teach her how to do all the fluids? I'm not quite sure about the things, this is so old, because even though this is so long, but I remember, and this is like an age mate, I really hate this, and this is fine, but I know that I won't be the only person here. Do you guys remember when you had to have this thing in your car and you'd pull it out, and then okay, this is what you would do. You take this thing, you'd pull it out, and then you'd wipe it fresh, and then you'd put it back in, and you take it out, and then you would see where the oil level was at on this thing. And that's how you knew if you needed more oil. I feel like if you are a younger generation person, I would just have blown your mind. In a way that I think 8-tracks and those things were people did that. You know what I'm talking about. Dipstick. Yeah, or window washing fluid. I don't know. They still exist. I mean, in my mind, I'm like, there are kids that don't know you do that or did that. Natalie's like, I've never had to change anything, honey, in Russia. One time I changed the oil and it ruined my manicure. I never did it again. I'm Natalie. And by the way, she's wearing gloves at the time. And then she's like, Mike wants me to be an all-American girl that does everything. It's interesting because I wonder what she thought that she did for Mike. I think that at one point Natalie was like, "Oh, what I do for Mike is I'm Mike's hot wife. Oh, Mike gets to sleep with me. That's what I do for him." Because I mean, I'm actually surprised that Natalie. I mean, I would be surprised to hear that Natalie didn't keep house, because she seems like she's a little anal about that or whatever. So I wonder what transpired for her not to keep house. And do you think that she's at this time in this episode still with Mike being like, I just got to get past the nose job. Let him on his insurance pay for my nose job. Well, I guess not insurance, as we said. Let him pay for the nose job. Remember when Trish was like, give her $5,000 and bring her back to Ukraine? The nose job is going to be more than $5,000. I wonder how much it is. So, they get in a fight, believe it or not, while changing the oil of this car. Because she hasn't been keeping Mike up to speed about the surgery, and she's kind of like, well, they called and scheduled it. They didn't give me an option. And he's like, well, you haven't been talking to me about it. I don't even know your surgeon or who your doctor is or whatever. You say some woman's name and I don't even know that woman's name. And she's like, oh, it's because I don't care about you. I'm like, whatever. I'm doing this nose job. I'm moving to Florida, I have went over her Instagram to like really peel off the layers and see if I can see like her nose job. And in some pictures I do, but in some pictures it looks very natural. It looks like I mean, right? Is her nose job like somewhat natural? I cannot tell. I want to get into Jovi and Yara. I mean, it's interesting because if we talk about a plastic surgery, we talk about Yara. I mean, she's someone who got it done really well. Yara, and they talked about this in Yara and Natalie talked about this with, of course, Yulia at the reunion last season, which Yulia, of course, is anti plastic surgery, Yara pro, and Natalie being like, I got a potato for her nose. And when Natalie said a potato for her nose, we all clocked that and being like, well, that means I know like them. And she, of course she did. So Jovi and Yara. They are now at Mrs. Gwen's house. Yara has gotten real comfortable with Miss Gwen, honey, because she has a baby on her, and it's hard to have a baby on you and do anything else. You're very tired. You're like making milk. And so she is happy to be like, I need more drink, and have Miss Gwen get it to her, honey. So in this situation, she also gets to FaceTime Jovi, who is away and has been away. And we know how Yara feels about it, which is she does not want him away ever. She doesn't feel like he should ever work for some reason. I don't know, my God. But he's like, bad news bears. Remember how that time when you didn't want me to leave ever, you didn't want me to, and you were so mad about it. It was 2 months. It should be 1 month, but it's 2 months because of like the extra 2 weeks quarantine. And she's like, mm-hmm. And he's like, well, it's an extra 3 weeks. She's upset. But one positive note about this is that she has to now, on her own, make every possible decision about where they're going to move next because their lease was up and she, I don't know if you heard, doesn't like New Orleans. She tried to like New Orleans, doesn't like New Orleans, doesn't care if a certain retail employee says the meatpacking district is a great place and such a great part of town. She doesn't care, honey. She got her shoes thrown up on, as she said, and she doesn't want it. Not for her, not for Mila. God bless. So because he won't be here, she gets to make all the decisions. She's very happy about that. One decision, she's bringing the white rug. Emma Dyson, don't even worry about it. So I don't know, of course, all the suburbs, but she gets to pick a place that does look beautiful. And then, honey, Jovi's mom, Mrs. Gwen, as we know, and Mrs. Gwen's mom. Okay, I think the woman's name is Barbara. Come over to Jovi's apartment with Yara and pack them up. Now, there are some boxes there that we see there are some boxes packed, but there's also like lots of things that could have already been thrown away or packed up, not like Pam. Don't you know what are you gonna do with the Pam? You have 2 things of Pam. I don't mean what's happening there. You know, like you can't even reach that, Yara. You haven't reached that in decades. You know, I don't know how long you lived there. But these 2 women are like, Yara, you haven't packed anything? And Yara's like, baby. And Barbara's accent is Creole, you know, like Bayou, no, New Orleans to the max. It is just, it's so good. I love an accent for so many reasons. This one's so interesting because I think that if you don't know the intricacies of New Orleans and Louisiana accents, they vary so, so crazily. Think about how Barbara sounds. I mean, I cannot even do it. It's such a crazy Creole accent. It's so specific, right? But that's Louisiana, which is only one state in the South. We already think about what the South sounds like. Like we know what certain people in Louisiana sounds like. For instance, Brittany. We know what Brittany sounds like. Not to like veer topics. But if you forgot what Brittany sounds like, if you forgot what Brittany's voice sounds like, she, for 20 minutes, and it's all on different leaked audio, had a statement to the judge for her conservatorship where she lays out her truth in such a way that is strong, sad, but also very authentic and in a voice that we haven't heard in a long time. It's definitely not Cajun. It's definitely Brittany, and there's definitely Louisiana-ness to it, and it's definitely a different. Yeah, it's Cajun. Linda, you're absolutely right. Linda, you're right. I know I keep saying Creole. It's Cajun. Yara, Yara thinks that she has it hard. Yara thinks that, honey, poor her. She came to this country. She has no one. She has a child, and Jovi's never there. Now, I'm not saying that's not hard, but she's also like, Jovi never work. And what Yara is getting to experience is that she gets to live wherever in what apartment she wants to live in and not work. Yulia would love such a luxury. Natalie would love that. If you were like Natalie, I know you don't like where Mike lives now. So now that you've been here for a second, you get to pick the next place. She'd die. She wouldn't leave him, but that's not her life. That's Yara's life. You can't make also like, and I was like also watching this like, Yara, you can't make Barbara, that old lady, honey, do all your packing. I mean, and Barbara's like, this is it, honey. This is the one time you're taking advantage. But I'm remembering this moment. My name is Barbara. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. There's no such thing as you. That never happens. My name is Barbara, but then in that accent. Yara also drops this nugget, and the nugget is that Yara's ideal two cities to live in are Paris and Amsterdam. And I'm going to tell you, because I've like stanned Yara so long, those are also my ideal places to live. I really like Newport Beach. Actually, I like Newport Coast, like in between Laguna and Newport. Newport's a little too much. Laguna, I like kind of, that's my ideal place. Newport Coast, Lake Hollywood, because of like sentimentality, or in Paris or Amsterdam. But they're very, very similar. And I like Yara's thing. It's like she wants to be somewhere glamorous, beautiful, clean, safe. Amsterdam is so clean. For something that is so like red light district and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying there aren't dirty parts of every city, and my God. But for someone who is broadcasting live to you from the city of Los Angeles, I will tell you, not all cities are made the same, and not all cities are clean and nice. And I'm not saying LA is one. I'm saying quite the opposite. Honey, take me to Paris, take me to Amsterdam, but it's not the same, It's 100% Cajun, 100%. I mean, like, but how do you even do it? Like I would literally for 40 minutes enjoy sitting here and trying to make those sounds for you, but I have to like have recorded her. Like I have family members that live in Corpus Christi, South Padre Island in Texas, which obviously isn't the same, but there is a kind of Cajunness. I mean, he is kind of Cajun. Actually, I say that, but they are sort of Cajun. They're Cajun-y because there's the element of the same, I think, geographical element of like water bayou-ness. Like my cousins are like hunting, fishing, bayou men. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I guess also they have that Texas thing where they don't move their jaw that much, in the Heath Ledger Brokeback Mountain kind of way. No, you know what I'm saying? Because that was like very much what he did. Like if you watch Heath Ledger, God bless his soul, in that movie, he hardly ever moved his mouth. Everything just come out of here. Everything just sort of like came out and it didn't come out. That was it. I can't even do it. But so let's move on. I cannot believe how different it is this season to talk about the next couple. Because in previous iterations of me talking about this next couple, I've had such fun over the years. And what a desolate place we are in now. And you know what it feels like, my loves? This is my metaphor for the evening. Watching Angela and Michael and what their storyline and love affair narrative has divulged into is sort of like the moment when Simba comes back to Pride Rock and Lion King and everything is desolate and dead. And you like see the death and decay and you're just like, Not as fun of a place as I once remembered, you know? So, I mean, we've said a lot about, like, how Angela has just, like, really berated Michael and abused him, and, how she blames for everything, including her smoking, which is crazy, and, because she smoked her whole life. Basically, he hasn't been calling her as much as she has, and therefore she knows that he's over it. And so the things that Angela does to like get attention, like scream at him and hang up on him, that usually gets him to like apologize more or call her back, hasn't gotten that response. And so he hasn't been calling. And he wants to live like a single man. And she obviously knows that he's probably cheating on her because she treats him like ish. They live in different countries. And she's mean to him. I mean, when he say, and like, yeah, he's, also he said that he liked big boobs and you went ahead and got rid of your boobs. Your big, bouncy, wouncy boobs. He wants those bouncy wouncies. He doesn't want no like small titted lady, which is fine. I love small titted ladies, but I mean, to have this man tell his friends about the breast reduction surgery, the goofballs, and have their reaction be as shocked and as sad as what his was, it really just justified how much that culture appreciates large, loosey goosey, natural, titties. And as someone who has those, I mean, get me to Nigeria. So let's start though in Nigeria. Michael is working out because, like everyone, he's gotten those like pandemic pounds on. What was Michael doing in the pandemic? Just like sitting at his aunt's house, just eating a bunch of food, or like his mom's house? And are they just like sitting there the whole time, like side eyeing him, like you and that woman? And he's just like, don't talk to me, I eat. I mean, I don't know, okay, sure. So here's the thing. As I said, he gets to hang out with the goofballs. Angela, as we've known in previous seasons, hates the goofballs, and they don't like Angela. And she has forbid him to hang out with them goofballs. But everything that she has said did not do, he is happily doing. He's not calling her. He's not putting his location on. He's not checking in. He wants to live, as he says, like a single man. And he recounts to his friends, he wasn't allowed to hang out with, all of the things that have been happening recently. And it sort of just sounds like, I mean, what to tell you, like any sort of like person that's recounting the traumatization that they've had and seeing how bad it is. But these people know. So he's like, Angela had 2 surgeries, a weight loss surgery, and then of course he said the breast reduction surgery, and they're like, what? Why? They're just like, why? No, I mean, so interesting. So, basically he tells them that, he abuses or he gets abused by her all the time. They're like, yeah, we know. We like saw it happen. We like literally watched you get emasculated by this woman and you just kept going back for more. She threw drinks at us. She makes you look crazy and also like a little pee-pee. At the same time, you've just gone back for more. So I can't believe you called us. We haven't heard from you in so long. And yeah, you gained some LBs, So oh, I always forget to do this. Oh my God, Mickey's here. Hi, my love. No pressure. Oh, hello from Cyprus. Hello, Christina. Um, I always forget to ask for likes. And then I noticed that I didn't do that. And then people forgot. So my loves, there's 75 people in this room. Would you mind taking a moment and liking this video? Just tickle my algorithm for me. Like pretend that I am Ellie and I might be falling back from my place on the stairs. And what I need you to do is just give me a little push, a little catch. And I will not somewhat cut your hand or whatever Libby said happened. But I do need you to thumbs up this video real quickly, give it a like. If you have to exit out, you would do me the biggest service. And I need it. I hate to say it. Do you want me to listen? Would I ask for something I don't like need? No, I would not just continually ask every video for one thing, which is you to subscribe or like this dumb thing you're looking at on this whatever screen, unless it was like somewhat imperative to me in my life, and it is. I'm sorry. I don't want to make the rules. I wish I didn't have to ask. I wish that everyone just saw my videos. I wish I was just milking the money train, honey. I wish that Google AdSense account was just full of dollar bills because I want to go to Kauai. That's not what's happening. And but just think, every little like that you give me is like giving me 0.002 cents of American dollars, which is probably like what, 1 cent of South African dollars. I don't know the conversion rate, but whew, that was an intense grocery bill. Okay. Pretty much when we pick up from Angela, she goes to her lawyer Lou's office and she comes in with a mask. He's like, Lou, I would hug you, but this pandemic. He's like, what pandemic? Oh yeah. Lou, she's like, I want a divorce. She's like, I can't do it. And he's like, great, don't do it. This is the time to do it. You have nothing keeping you together. You're barely married. You have no property, you have no kids. And state law, you would just leave with what you had, which is he has nothing and you have everything. So he doesn't get anything. Great, do it now. And she's like, great, I'll do it. I'll do it. And he's like, okay, cool. So just obviously, that'll be the end of that. That'll be the end of the marriage. She's like, great. So what happens if we get back together? Lou's like, if you file for divorce, you'll have to get married again and refile for the spousal visa, the thing you've been waiting for. That's never happened. That's never happened the first time. And so, yeah, like if you do that, like I'm probably never going to happen. And Angela's like, what? Well, I can't do that then. I still know Michael. Meanwhile, she has like how many like smoking abscesses in her mouth? She just won't stop smoking. This is okay because it's just me and you. This is what's annoying to me about this. I mean, a lot of things, obviously, because they're still together, right? Because that's why they have a shared Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I think it is. So why are we watching this and what's real? By the way, she has an episode, I think, Angela, an old episode of Maury Povich, which I think just re-aired again. And it's basically like finding, I think, the paternity of like one of her daughter's fathers or her grandchildren's father, if I know correctly. Absence my behind, she's missing teeth. Yeah, so it's like whatever, but why? Oh, because she can't get like an implant. But to my mind, it's like, why would she get something and blame smoking? That smoking would make it worse. That's why, I guess. Michael does not deserve Angie. I mean, no, Angie deserves. I mean, literally like Capitol Riot people. So I don't know what to tell you, my love. Yeah, Michael deserves. I mean, Michael deserves someone in Nigeria with like really big boobs, you know, like very big boobs, you know, and like that will just pump out some kids for him. That's, you know, but he's going to then have to make money. That is the thing. That is it. Sometimes it's hard to get away from that, you know, like that cash cow. But in this case, you got to do it if you want to end it. You know, got to snip the cord, honey, the checking account. You can't do it. I think she was getting veneers. Okay, yeah. You know, yeah, if you don't know first of all, I'm sure Jay does. If you don't know the process for veneers, it's actually quite horrible. You know who has veneers? Darcy. Darcy does. And the reason why Darcy does is because I've seen her real teeth, which we're going to bring up right now. So if you've gotten veneers, and I don't know exactly why or how, if it's for everything and if they have a better approach now, but they have to sand down your actual teeth to little nubs, to little skinny nubs, and put the fake tooth on. Listen, if you are in that place where you need cosmetic dentistry, then do what you got to do. But in my mind, sometimes I think people, you know, sometimes I think people do it, get veneers when they have like perfectly normal teeth. Now, Angela, of course, does not have perfectly normal teeth. I know that. You can't smoke all those years and have like, you know, any color that resembles even like eggshell or cream. You know, who knows what's in that mouth and what else is happening. But veneers scare me for how really intensely you get rid of the natural thing that you have to put on this fake thing that could always just like fall off and stuff like that. And if anything happened, you're going to have nubs left, little corn kernels for teeth. It's one of those things that like, you know how certain things like hit a part of your soul where you think about it and like, no, like thinking of shaving down my teeth for veneers is one of those things. Woo! I'm on a dental implant journey right now. So glad to wear a mask. You know, again, if you are in a, if it's, if, well, as we talked about, like the nose jobs or anything, of course, there are like medical reasons that people would do such a things. And my God, if you're going through that, I'm so sorry your teethies are hurting you. But yeah, there's a lot of like celebrities and a lot of like actors or actresses or hosts that you see just have like full veneers, real big veneers. And you're just like, oh God, what did you do to get those on? You know who got a pair of chompers, and when she did, I was like, oh, Haley Duff. Haley Duff's chompers at one point were too chompery. Um, Two chomps. Okay, so I'm sorry, we're talking about Brandon and Julia, right? Brandon and Julia. So this starts weird. Julia's like, I dressed Brandon. She dressed Brandon like a spy. She dressed Brandon in a tight black mock turtleneck and glasses. Honey, he looked like he was Tom Cruise and like Top Gun 3. No, not Top Gun. Mission Impossible like 3. Like not one of the newer ones, like one of the older ones, not the first one, but like somewhere in the middle. Like a 2007, whenever the Mission Impossible came around on there. Like he looks like that person. That like it's such a Julia outfit. And they're on their way because they are going to look for an apartment, right? She does not want to live in the farm. Now, Julia has picked the apartment. And this is different from the Yara sitch because Yara got to actually pick a good apartment. They actually moved in. Julia just went on the webs, just found an apartment, and they went to go check it out without knowing basic info like the price. Not only like does she not know the price of this apartment, Julie doesn't know the price of any apartments, what prices are, how much they can afford. She doesn't know anything. I mean, in my sense, why didn't Brandon at one point be like, oh, Julia, you're going to go look online for apartments that you're going to take time out of our lives to go look at? Okay, well, make sure they're in the ballpark of $800 to $850. My God. He didn't, right? So she is like, cool, I'm going to go get us an appointment to look at a 3-bedroom, like rustic, industrial looking, rustic new place. 3-bedroom, huge. This man has to like take time out of his day to show them, to show a young Tom Cruise wannabe and a Yulia. Okay, so they like traipse through this apartment and Yulia's dying over it. She's like, Yulia at one point also was like, it's so crazy because $800 is like how much, it's like 8 months of apartments in Russia because the person that, like rents my apartment only rents it for 100. And then I want to be like, okay, Yulia, well then what does your apartment look like? Yulia, is your apartment in Russia 3 bedrooms with all those walk-in closets and all those extra closets with the like laminated hardwood floors that are the laminated ones but are nice because they're brand new? Is everything all nice with like, do you have like all of the pieces and the sconces up? Is that it? Because if your apartment's $100, think about that. Think about what your apartment would be here. And then as you look around and see that you are in a very nice apartment, then you have to at some point understand how life works. I mean, how young is Julia? I mean, at some point, I understand that nicer apartments are more expensive, that a 3-bedroom apartment is expensive. But we're supposed to believe that Julia's like, this is it, let's move in. And Brandon has to be like, well, we don't need a 3-bedroom apartment, it's very expensive. And she has to be like, well, we'll talk about it later. And you don't want to do anything for me and everything. And it's like, well, now you give us reason to understand why your dumbass dad, Ron, wanted to be like, don't move out. You bitches are dumb because you are dumb. You don't understand. What? Yeah, you can't. No, you can't afford that place. And don't waste anyone's time. $1,800 for that 3-bedroom apartment. That's a beautiful apartment. No. You should be looking at a 1-bedroom or studio. And you should have a budget for that. Don't waste anyone's time, including yours, including Brandon's. So, okay, but they are, even though I'm yelling at them, on the pathway to adulthood. Yara understands that without her bringing in some sort of money, she can't ask for such things. So Yara, through the good grace of Brandon, found a job interview. We couldn't wait to find out what that job interview was. It was at a gym, and we were like, "Oh, okay, to be like a check-in person?" No, to be an instructor of dance? Because we know that she's a dancer, honey. She loves those dancing. We saw videos of her go dancing at clubs. It's a lot of like the, this is like, here, wait, I have to do this far away. So it's that special kind of like go dancing club stuff where it's a lot of like, yeah, I mean, maybe I thought that it'd be better doing this for you in this moment, but truly to do this in front of you, I'm realizing how bad I look and how it's not at all what they are doing. But so she thinks she's going to teach a dance class, and then at what looks like a 24-hour fitness or Planet Fitness style membership gym. Like that's the kind of place that has like Zumba, right? And so for her interview, she has this older gentleman being like, this is what happens here. And he's like, okay, so dance, like, let's see, or like, he's like, move for me, like, let's see if you can dance or what you would do here. And there are workout shoes, honey, and she nixes the workout shoes, so she puts on clear heels, my loves. She puts on clear heels, honey. She thinks she's at a chorus line dance, like, audition. Like, Yara comes dressed like, I mean, like, extra in Paula Abdul's Cold-Hearted Snake. So, I get so happy when I make a reference that I like. The clear heels and like the tight outfit and like her dance moves are anything but like a Zumba class instructor at like a 24-hour fitness, but that is where she's at, but she is giving us something else. So she, honey, is touching her body and she is like doing it. She gets on the ground, honey, she like arches her back at one point, she like puts up her butt, she like slides down, this guy's like, okay. So like, most people taking your class, since this is like a membership gym, is going to be like 60-year-old women. They're not going to get on that ground. Like, I'm dying. So Yara's like, okay. And he's like, well, okay, how would you teach me? And you're like, okay, well, yeah, how would you teach you? Like, she's like, oh, okay, put your hand up and go down your body. At one point, because she is a good dancer, you're like, well, like, did she ever take a class? Like, is she gonna at least know, like, okay, we'll start a 5, 6, 7. I don't even know how to be a dance instructor, but I know that if I had to teach them, I'd be like, okay, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 count. But Yara doesn't even count, my loves. Like she's not an instructor. Now this guy is so happy to say, well, I like what you have here and I can see your talent. So we need you to get certified, be a workout instructor. If you get certified online, you just go to a website. They send you a book, read the book, go back on the website at your leisure, fill out the questionnaire, the /quiz or whatever, get your certification. Honey, Yara is like, what? Oh, what am I, a doctor? I don't need no certification. Just give it to me. I dance in Russia. You guys, Yulia doesn't know how life works. It's cute. I think I was like, Yulia, honey, you are entitled. You don't know nothing about anything. And you're going to think you're going to say here and say that, no, you don't know. You can't lead a class. This man did you a favor, by the way, by saying you have to go get certified. You're not going to teach a class of 6-year-olds. You can't speak English anyway. All you had, God bless, was the capability of dancing and at least counting. I know you can count, my love, but what I'm saying is, since she's not actually a professional dance instructor, nor an exercise workout person because she's never taken any sort of training, and her idea of doing so and maybe getting certified and having a moment of training is like she doesn't need that. Yes, you do. You in fact do. And just because, my love, you're a hot ass go-go dancer in Russia doesn't mean you can just get whatever willy-nilly job you want here. And if you want that 3-bedroom, $1,800 apartment with laminated gray floors, mama, a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. How many people does he need? How many boys? I mean, she looks like Sheila in Chorus Line. I really want someone to give me that reference. Like, she just looks so hot, but in those clear heels. I couldn't just dancing in them clear heels. You can't even dance. I thought he was kind to her. Oh, DW, he absolutely was. Oh, he absolutely was. Oh, yeah, he was very nice to her. He could have been like, remember, like, the wedding coordinator that was like, well, it's a very hard industry and you really have to network. So you're not going to network here because I don't like you. Like, I'm not going to get you a job. He wasn't even like, well, you're a lovely dancer, very sexy, nice woman, but we don't need it. We don't need that kind of dancing here. He was just like, girl, okay. Interesting. So why don't you just go online and do the one thing we asked you to do, like get certified. We only hire certified people here because it's a huge corporate gym membership place, so we can't do that without that. Julia just needs to understand. I mean, I think that she's gonna, I don't want life to be hard for Julia. I actually want her to have a good life, but for her to think that she's just gonna get a 3-bedroom apartment, so willy-nilly with Brandon's salary and her just get like some job dancing just by dancing in clear heels, lucite heels at a 24-hour fitness. I mean, no, my love, that's not how it's gonna work. And listen, we all have to learn that. I was 20-something once, 2 years ago. Oh, I remember it as it was yesterday. It was so hard losing a year in the pandemic, so close to my 20s. Uh, that is all I have. Oh, I went through all the people? Oh, I've been talking for an hour and 11 minutes, maybe. Okay, yeah. I mean, that is how I have that episode going, which is, I mean, I don't know if this was now looking back. Was this super fun and funny? I don't know if my recap was fun or funny to you, but I'm not being given a lot of funny or funniness. Like, I don't know what to tell you because it's fun to make fun of things when there is like enough lighthearted things where you don't feel like you're being mean or judgmental the whole time. And I'm gonna be honest that I know that I was like negative during specifically this recap where I think that I was meaner than meaner than I usually am about things. But at the same time, it's like, what am I'm getting nothing. I can talk about nothing fun, so I think I'm just like, ugh. When I'm talking about being mean, I know I was like being mean to like Libby's sisters. But it's hard because they are the most fakest family. And so I get mad, frustrated that I have to put up with watching them. So I like feel like they're justified in hearing not my hatred. They don't have to hear my hatred. I'm not gonna ever post on their channels, but like, I'm mad that I have to watch that. And like I've been bamboozled, and so are the producers to giving them airtime. I think I would have enjoyed a family that felt maybe like an older family that we hadn't seen coming back. Like, that's what I feel like the problem is. There are too many couples right now that we've seen too much of. And we've also, like have had season after season of the show. There are so many couples that we've lost track with. Now, of course, a lot probably because they don't want to be on TV anymore or they don't want their lives being shown. Maybe they're not together. But I think that I would challenge the 90-day, especially the happily ever after producers, to not just cycle from the last 90-day, whoever bullshit couples right into this one. Because we got Yara and we got Mike and Natalie and we got Brandon and Julia. Now, I like those people, but Brandon and Julia are boring this season. I obviously don't like Libby and Andre at all. And I find them to be the worst. So what I'm saying is, yeah, like, oh, it could have been anyone, like, oh, the hot model and the Mormon, like, I don't remember anyone's name, Daddy Yellow Fever, 401 Clary, like, even remember the young New Orleans couple, Jenny and, I think it was Jenny, who was from Thailand, and her, like, that guy that she was with. I would rather even have, like, a Where Are They Now and have, like, a little update rather than just a fake couple who wants more airtime. And I know that producers know the difference. It's very obvious. Also because the producers are also in on it, right? They're like scripting things. We have got to be better about that because I'm sorry, I'll say this. If anyone ever watches, if you're going to continue to script things, people are going to lose interest. It's just not interesting. And it's obvious. The beauty of this is when you find, of course, people who don't know how ridiculous and or interesting they are, or dumb, or bamboozling they are, and then you show them, right? Because they've agreed for whatever reason to have their lives aired, for a minuscule amount of money, but hopefully some sort of fame that comes through TV blend ads and or Cameo subscriptions and or OnlyFans, as we see, going back to Libby Sisters. Love After Lockup, new season. Yeah, people are liking that. I got a DM about watching Below Deck Mediterranean. And then my cousin Monique was like, did you watch the show? It was on TLC. And it premiered, I think, last Sunday, which was the, like, I lived with my ex, me and my ex and my BF and it's whatever. I'm so sorry. It's like a little hacky of a title, but it's basically like people that live with their current lovers and their ex-lovers. Have you guys watched that? I fell off the Extreme Sisters bandwagon, obviously. Do I have to say that? Honestly, sometimes I don't watch the episode anymore because I'll feel it. It's come for your recaps. Jay, that's so nice. I want to make sure. That's why I'm like, that's why I want to make sure, even if the show isn't fun, that the recap is at least fun. As I'm ending this one, I realized, I don't know if I made this one fun, but like, it's just, what am I going to do? It's like, everything's kind of depressing. Okay, here it is. Jessica, Me, Myself, and My Ex. So who here has watched that? Linda says that X show is weird. I mean, it feels a little bit like The Smothered or The Extreme Sisters, which is like family dynamics gone wrong because there's a natural tension between the ex and the new person, or is there, and then we'll get to, okay. So I'm assuming the fun parts of watching that show is maybe there's couples that have like unresolved sexual tension. Or maybe there's just a bananas baddie couple or woman or man that we like, a one character that's like bananas we have to watch. So, thanks, Linda. Well, my loves, that's where I am. I really appreciate you guys, by the way, like thumbsing up this video, joining this chat, subscribing if you haven't already. Like, it's late, my loves. There's 100 people here almost, and it's, 1 a.m. Oh my God, it's almost 1 a.m. Okay, well, it's always fun, like hanging out with a friend with these recaps. Yay! I like the camaraderie being here as well as being Minecraft. Yay! Well, Mickey, you haven't been here in so long. I really like you're here. Oh, Coco Bang Bang's here. Reality TV is getting lazy. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's like you're having to find the next thing that is new enough that there's an authenticity, right, with the cast members and the people before people understand that they get famous and they start to play the game, and the game is getting more airtime or being extra for the cameras or putting on a show or trying to drum up drama and or all the extras of the Instagram ads. That's when people have been gotten. You can see the direct pattern. I will say, as much as I hate Mike and Natalie, Mike isn't in these streets on the internet. Listen, Natalie has an Instagram post up right now. Like, her whole page is like actress, journalist, nose job now. All of her pictures airbrushed. And she's like selling her body program where she lost weight online now. Like, she's doing it. I'm not saying that's bad, but Mike is not. It doesn't have, anything to say about it. Like, that's why I'm like, I think Mike doesn't like the producers. He just, like, I feel like got roped into this. I think that he truly had a relationship with Natalie and somehow he's still in this. I don't know why, though. I don't know what his end game is. He has to know he looks bad. I don't know. He obviously does not want to be famous. I wonder if he did it because Natalie wanted to do the last season. Like, I wonder if we'll ever see Mike again. Because obviously, like I said, Natalie's shooting The Single Life. I didn't say Mike is. I have a little it's 4 a.m. in Florida, but due to this thing called insomnia, I'm living this live right now. Oh, I deal with insomnia. People make fun of me for watching this stuff. Natalie's getting backfired. Oh, since you got lipo. I mean, listen, Obviously, anyone's choice is anyone's choice. You have someone like Rebecca who's like, I got lipo. So happy about it. God bless. And then you have someone who doesn't say they got it and then it's like, I lost 15 pounds by my new program to work out. And you're like, uh-huh. So the same version of that mild version is like getting a butt implant or getting butt whatever injections and being like, I do butt workouts, buy my program and get a butt like me because this is all natural and you can build it. And Visa, I'm looking at you. And that butt looks good, honey. But let's not pretend it's not just squats you're doing. It's not just like mountain climbers and fire hydrants. 4 a.m. in Toronto, 3 a.m. in Texas. Tiffany just had, oh, she did? Jay, really? Is that known? Tiffany just the sleeve surgery? Wow. I'm happy for her. Well, everything I've always said applies. How do you need to have a full spectrum of therapy in order to be successful doing that surgery? Because it's not like a nose surgery where you just do it and your nose stays that way. You lose weight and then you have to eat at some point, and then life, it happens. So it's a weird situation. Yeah, I was on Insta. Thank you so much, Jay. Oh, Mickey. Mike would be boring to watch, true. Kind of looking forward to seeing Horror and Natalie making sexy pouty faces on a date. You're absolutely right. Because like every date with Mike would be like, or no, this is the mic. It is this finger being the mustache. Yeah, and Natalie just like, she does that. Like, yeah. So interesting. Okay, I don't even have a joke for it. Like that is what they just do. It's like that is the perfect just like gesticulations of their physical gestures. Okay, my loves, I have to go. It's 1 a.m. You're like, it's 1 a.m. there. Did you hear? It's 3 and 4 here. Cry baby. Did anyone watch, by the way, any of the BT Awards? It looks like Megan Thee Stallion killed her performance. She really is so fierce. Really into it. I love you guys all so much. So again, so thankful that you're here spending a late night with me. And like, I feel like a queen, honey. Truly. Having many people at like midnight on a Sunday night. Why are you here? I'm so thankful. I really like you and I really appreciate it. It makes me feel really warm. Just like, why? I mean, yeah, I could cry. I'm just like a normal person. Just like, I'm just happy anyone would like be paying attention to like a makeup free Chris Farah at like midnight spouting whatever about this dumb show. Truly. I love you. I really appreciate your all of your support, all of your likes, all of your comments during this moment, during this whole hour and a half, and also people that comment afterward. You know, it's always great. Oh my God. I set my alarm. Okay. Thank you, Honey Writer. Thank you, Jessica. I love you guys. Okay, my loves, you know how it is. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Chris L. Farah. The L is for Lebanese. I really love you guys. As I said, you can subscribe and or like this video. I also have a private Facebook group where I do try and like give a heads up when I'm going to go live and talk during the week, and that is the best place to like make sure that I see messages and stuff. Not messages, but like when you post comments there. And that's called Vanity Farah on Facebook, and it's my little heaven, my little slice of heaven. Other than that, it's Sunday night. It's early Monday morning. Thank you so much. I really hope you have really a sweet dream situation. I hope you get into a very cozy bed, spray your lavender, take a couple of deep breaths, put on your white noise, just like they should put Carly to bed, honey. Put yourself to bed and have like a really great week. Summers are coming. Get out there or not, but take care of yourselves either way and each other, and stand up for what you believe. And I said already, but free Britney and make art. Okay, my loves. And by art, I mean one of Trisha's scarves. Please knit me a Trish scarf as your piece of art to me. Okay? Thanks, DW. I love you guys so much. Love you, Mickey. Love you, Jay. Love you, Linda. Love you, Jessica. Love you. I appreciate all of you guys here and my Empress and my mods and everyone. And all right, baby boo boos, here I go.